first season of BoJack Horseman was released on Netflix, people had some mixed thoughts about it, especially in its earlier episodes. I would assume the reason behind this was because many thought this was just another typical adult animated show, like Family Guy, American Dad, and so on. However, as the first season of BoJack Horseman turned out, its humor is the one thing that is typical of an adult animated show, such as King of the Hill, Family Guy, American Dad, and The Simpsons. But the writing in BoJack Horseman, in terms of the first season, was more than typical, because I found the writing brilliant. The consensus of Season 1 being somewhat divisive still stands, and that's because there are people out there that haven't seen BoJack Horseman, or have probably tried it but didn't really care to go further into it because of its humor. But Season 2 is when critics and audiences alike praised the fuck out of BoJack Horseman, myself included. There is one thing that Season 2 does explore, and that is the titular horse, BoJack Horseman. We actually get to see his backstory starting with the second season. And this is something that we didn't get from the first season, although I understand why that was the case, because the first season's job was to establish the characters and the setting. It's nice that Season 2 does explore further into our main character of BoJack Horseman, the titular horse himself. I won't give away too much about what happens in the second season of BoJack Horseman, but this backstory that is introduced in the second season makes the titular main character interesting. I swear, if I encounter anyone that tells me that they don't like BoJack Horseman because the main character is depressed and he complains a lot, there's actually a purpose behind his character early on, and that's because Season 2 actually does explore that and does explain why he behaves the way he does in the first season of BoJack Horseman. Hell, I've already heard enough people bitch about Neon Genesis Evangelion because of its main character being whiny a lot, and yet they do go further into why he is the way he is, and yet people bitch about Shinji Ikari. To hell with those people. Looking back on the first season of BoJack Horseman, I can see why some people would find the first season to be the weakest of all the seasons so far. But as time goes by, I do think that the first season is enhanced in time thanks to later seasons. But as far as Season 2 is concerned, the humor is improved, and the writing has actually made BoJack Horseman more interesting, not only for the main character, but for the entire series. The second season of BoJack Horseman really is the starting point of this show hitting its mark and galloping towards greatness. My business with the second season of BoJack Horseman is done here, so I will be shooting a 10 out of 10 for the second season of BoJack Horseman.